Welcome back to my channel, Kings and Queens. I'm here again with another amazing video. Today guys, I have a particular video. You guys know Donald Trump has finally banned South Africans from attending the G20 Summit 2026 in America. Yes, he stated the reason why he is not going to be allowing South Africa to attend the G20 summit, and I'm going to be reading out the statements here for you guys to watch. Please, as you're watching, if you don't like this video, please do so well to like the video, share the video with your family and friends, subscribe to the channel to join the family, and please turn on your bell notification so you can get notified whenever I post amazing content like this. Let me read out what Donald Trump have to say concerning South Africa, and he has banned them from not attending the G20 Summit 2026. Donald Trump is at it again. The United States did not attend the G20 in South Africa because the South African government refuses to acknowledge or address the horrific human rights abuse endured by Afrikaners and other descendants of Dutch, French, and German settlers. To put it more bluntly, they are buying white people and randomly allowing their farms to be taken from them. Perhaps what the soon to be out of business New York Times and the fake news media won't issue a word against this genocide. That's why all the liars and pretenders of the radical left media are going out of business. At the conclusion of the G20, South Africa refused to hand off the G20 presidential to the senior representative from our US embassy who attended the closing ceremony. Therefore, at my direction, South Africa would not be receiving an invitation to the 2026 G20 summit, which will be hosted in the great city of Miami, Florida next year. South Africa has demonstrated to the world they are not a country worthy of membership anywhere, and we are going to stop all payments and subsidies to them, effective immediately. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Trump is actually throwing tantrums because I see no reason why he is going to remove the subsidies that he is giving to South Africans, and he is also banning South Africa from coming to the G20 Summit 2026. This is uncalled for. To me, what Jeffrey Sachs said about Donald Trump is actually true. He is throwing tantrums like a 4-year-old child. Actually throwing tantrums. Because I see no reason why all these things he mentioned here should be a reason why he should not allow South Africa to be invited for the G20 Summit 2026 in Florida, Miami. I see no reason. He's just trying to, get back at South Africa because Ramaphosa did conclude the G20 summit without Trump, and it did not even it didn't hand power to the representative that Trump sent to South Africa. It did not. So he decided to close the G20 summit in South Africa without Trump, and that is making Trump go crazy. It is making him uncomfortable. So for that reason, he's trying to get back at South Africa by trying to remove them subsidies that he has been granting to South Africa. He decided to remove everything, and he decided to get back at South Africa by removing them or banning them from attending the G20 summit, which will be happening in Miami 2026. Guys, what do you think? But let's watch some of the videos of reactions of people, what they think about Donald Trump banning South Africans from attending the G20 Summit 2026. Watch this video, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
South Africa will not receive an invitation to next year's G20 Summit in Miami, Florida. In a a statement made by the Commander-in-Chief of the United States, President Donald Trump, the president stated that due to the horrific human rights abuses which are happening to our brothers and sisters of Afrikaner descent, as well as the fact that we refuse to give the presidency of the G20 over to the next year's hosts, which are the USA, and we refuse to give it to a charge d'affaires, who a senior member of the United States Embassy. They have then decided that we will not be given an invitation to the G20 summit. Now, it must be made very clear, ladies and gentlemen, that South Africa is not just an observer or like a butler or a cleaner in the G20. We are full members of the G20. We are permanent members, if anything. That's like being told that you are not allowed to go to a birthday party. That time you paid for the foundation and the bricks, get it, of the house where the party is being made, which is bizarre to me. But anyway, we're going to see what's going to happen next. I will try in the very least and keep you updated, because ziyakhala manje. This has been Mashed Potatoes here from Pretoria.
So South Africa has been kicked out of the G20 for next year by Donald Trump. So in the middle of the night, Donald Trump wrote this fiery tweet saying that South Africa is not going to get an invite to come to the 2026 G20 that is going to be happening in Miami. First of all, it's not happening in Miami. It's happening next to Miami. So he needs to get his facts right. And secondly, G20 is not a birthday party where you say, no, you are not invited. You're not going to come to my party. South Africa is a founding member of the G20. We have a full seat and we are the outgoing country, which means that we are very important when it comes to this. So South Africa does not need or require an invite. We are already there on the list. We are like a shareholder of the G20. But America can make it very difficult for us to participate. So they can deny visas of our people who need to go there, which will only leave the people who are already there in our embassies. But then they can make it difficult for them to make it to the event as well. So there's many ways, like childish ways, that the government of the United States can do to prevent us from participating. But I've already seen a lot of support coming from European countries, which is weird because you would have expected countries in Africa like the AU, other countries in the global south to step forward and say, no, we can't do it like this. But it's countries like Germany. Germany was one of the first countries that came out and said, no, we need South Africa on the table. We need it on the table. It needs to be sitting there on the table. We can't have South Africa not to be there. We also saw the French. They've also put out a statement. So people are coming out and saying, nope, that's not how it's going to work. That's not how it's going to work. So we're going to see more and more people. I'm pretty sure South Africa has the entire year to gather support. And South Africa is really good at that. If there's one thing South Africa knows how to do is to convince, is to talk to other people and get them on board. So I'm not really feeling like this is going to be an issue. Yes, Trump is going to throw Trent Trump. He's going to try his best to bully South Africa. But South Africa has shown resilience and it has shown that it has the capacity to get other countries behind it, to rally on our cause. Because people don't quite understand how difficult it was for South Africa to first get the global south to agree on the mission and then get to convince the Europeans to agree on the mission. You need to understand that everything that was being talked about on that G20 that happened was against those who have power. It was addressing that power imbalance. It's very difficult to convince people who have power to say you need to give up power and then they say yes. That's very difficult. And what South Africa did there, which many people are not talking about when they analyze this thing, is that it was able to separate everybody who is against prosperity of the entire planet against everyone else. So South Africa was able to say, who wants to keep poor people poor? Nobody would want to say that, and the United States was the only country in the world who was standing on the other side. South Africa got to have everybody around, including the Europeans. They got them to admit that they need to pay more on this green energy transition. They had made admissions back then, but now South Africa was like, nope, we need to put figures down. They made them to admit that this whole thing of veto powers need to go away. It's not going to go away overnight, but the fact that South Africa was able to separate the two, to say, are you with us or are you not with us? Are you okay with poor countries remaining poor and keeping them poor? Are you okay that other people are not equal as others? And that puts everybody at a corner to say, yeah, you don't want to sound like a hypocrite because you said that we are all equal. And South Africa was able to single out America because America kept saying, nope, we don't want to reform the IMF, we don't want to reform the World Bank, we don't want to reform the veto power, we don't want to reform any of these things. We are happy the way things are. And that was the amazing part because South Africa was able to do that. I still think that South Africa will participate one way or another. We have the whole year to negotiate. We have the whole year to talk to our counterparts, to talk to our partners in Asia, in Europe, and the global south to definitely show up support to say that, nope, without South Africa, this is not going to work. We need South Africa to be on the table. South Africa didn't do anything wrong. The United States is the one that boycotted the summit in South Africa. South Africa is not.
Guys, let me know what you think about this particular thing that Donald Trump decided to do. To me, it doesn't really make sense. It's uncalled for. Like banning South Africa from coming to the G20 Summit 2026 just because of these things you listed here, that Afrikaners are just, they're not being treated right in South Africa, that there's a genocide, of which I know these things are not actually true. If it's true, please let me know. Like, explain to me in the comment section if this thing Donald Trump listed here should be a reason why he should remove the subsidies that is being given to South Africa yearly or monthly, and the reason why he decided to ban South Africa from not attending the G20 summit in Miami. These reasons, are they really substantial? Please let me know in the comment. Let me know in the comment section, and please don't forget to like the video, share the video, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel.